Holla, 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 holla. I was running for the Federal Ballot, so one of the tests of being run for Prime Minister of this fine country is if you can tie a tie. Did you know how to tie a tie? Or is it like a clip-on? You're born like a clip-on. If you're born like a clip-on, then you're unable to run for federal ballot. Is you a gentleman or not a gentleman? So I will demonstrate the unification of this country, of this great land, by the egging on and the motivations of the likes of McDonald. You see, the red meets the blue, and we get terracotta. Might take a few attempts. They're kind of lame. I say this is single out Windsor, my friend. Single out Windsor. Does you not know how to tie a knot? Yeah, you gotta stuff the sausage too. Yeah, did you see a tile of that? All the Superior Court of Judges wanted to stack. They said we're going to make him suffer and get the tie and curse. See, that is known as a beautiful. Oh, can we get the beard out of the way? This is like perfection. It's the perfection of Windsor. Oh, by the way, did I mention, because of the ascended law made by Her Majesty the Queen of England, that you can claim royalty from your father's side and your mother's side. And your mother's side. So, by that honorable law, I qualify for royalty, for the crown, sir. And hereby I feel moved, extremely moved, to make my claims concrete. It's like, the verbiage of the Appeals Court of Justice. Is your appeal concrete, my friend? Have you firmed it up like a firm buttock? Have you firmed it up? So I am firming it up now. The abundance of, what can I do? The spirit world is edging me on. Every time I go to see my mother at the cemetery, at Lakeview Cemetery, them say, did you get your nominations on the federal ballot? For you? Did you now? You said, no, Sir Johnny McDonald. You said, do you want me to open up a large can of whipple-a-doo? Did you now? Mr. McDonald, please, kindly, sir. People are already trampling your statue. You're around for you being a slaver and bigoted kind of guy. And now you want me to run for election? So I had no choice but to put in my nominations for the best tie. Note this side of the Atlantic. Right? Yes, I'm running for the federal elections because democracy needs active participation. For democracy to succeed, you just can't be irresponsible and delegate all your representational needs to some poor person and expect them to perform, especially when they have electoral of millions of people, sometimes thousands of people. And do you expect them to take care of all your business? No, sir. We're going to formulate a new process where you rule. You rule, and we rule. So we're going to scale up democracy. You see, the current democracy is like this little bitty one. Is that a tie? I would call it a tie too. The little bitty tie. And them are the real dibs. And this one is it changes. It changes from blue to red and it becomes purple. Can you see the purple there? Yeah. Yes, I'm running for federal ballot, and some of the reasons are we need to scale up democracy. We need to really bring democracy current. Democracy was invented by Sparta. It was a long time ago. It's the only good form of democracy is direct democracy, the kind that Switzerland has, where the electorate is very, very highly educated and very, very well choices. The choices they make is pretty good. But indirect form of democracy has its challenges in representation and legislation and the judiciary and all those kind of matters. And we need to fix that. We truly need to fix that. And henceforth, we is going to fix it, sir. So I was run for, I'll let you see my long Goldilocks, even longer, but I believe in you. That's what sleeves were meant for, to wipe your nose. That's why they have frills on handkerchiefs and all those things. Yeah, so I got the best tie. I got the best hat. I have the Superman hat. So this is the hat of the hats. This is the hat that permitted you to see this kind of hat. I said, where have you ever seen a hat like this? And medicine woman, I was the medicine man, so I got medicine, the kind that this country needs, the society needs, the papa needs, and them are real whites. So my one-liner is, democracy is all about active participation. The wonderful things about democracy is any guy, whether you know to tie a Windsor knot, single or a double, you can still get your name on the federal ballot. All it takes is, I think you need 25 people from your community to nominate you. And the nomination You just take that and submit it to Elections Canada, and bida bang, bida boom, Mr. Spaghetti is on the federal ballot. Are you going to vote for spaghetti and tomato sauce or not now? Or are you going to be a bigot and say, just no, we won't vote for Mr. Steak? You know, you're tied to, you can use it to wipe the snow off your face after a good day of shoveling snow. Yeah. And the beard. Yes, the beard and the hair are going to stay. Because there's something still. My hair is kind of a little bit destroyed. I'm really at a loss about how, why, and when, and where. There used to be bounce in my hair. Like there used to be bounce and hope in this country. But we really don't have it anymore. Well, I'm pretty sure you want to know how I look like. Vote for Henri Great. And you see, there's a Windsor tie over there too, man. And that photo's pretty old. Yeah, that's how I look with all them fine facial hairs. Don't you see the royalness in my ears over there? So, yes, my one-liner to you is either you run for election. I need active participation, because we're going to take Canada, and then we're going to take planet Earth, and we're going to follow the Dr. Jean Sharp methodology of taking chocolate from Willy Wonka. It's going to be that simple. All those people who have taken part in those convoys and all that, we applaud your initiative, sir. But this is your opportunity with a tunity, like there's a tuning in opportunity to do this legally, to follow them process and run for elections. Yeah, vote for the truck. Yeah, vote for the truck. Vote for McQueen. So the party, it's a whole new thing. I'm starting up a whole new one, and we're going to trash all the parties. Like none of the parties are worth. So we really can't. The Liberal Party is unfortunately too corrupt. Whether you like it or not, even the Bible talks about liberalism. Liberalism is, believe me, I'm a liberal at heart. That's why you see a whole lot of red over here. I'm liberal in my thought, mind, and deed. I'm not dogmatic. You know, this dogma, people have like all kinds of dogma, my friend. And that's what the conservatives have become. Are we going to, what kind of values are we going to conserve? Dogmatism? Are we going to be a bunch of dogmatic people? Are we going to be a bunch of ignorant, dogmatic people? So this is the choice we have. Either we be a bunch of ignorant, dogmatic people, or we be a bunch of liberal, corrupt people, or we be a bunch of Green Party members who talk a whole lot about recycle, reuse, rebag, and resuck. But that's not going to get you anywhere, man. It starts with a cradle-to-cradle design. Then design is a failure, is a flop. The Green Party don't have no clue, no thing. NDP is a washout. NDP is a joke. NDP is propping up a dictator by the European Union standards. It's called the carrot standards of democracy. They've asked Justin Trudeau to get the fly out of the house of democracy in no small ways. So, the proposition is quite simple to you, my friend. This October, the federal election, you either run for me. There's going to be like there's 308 ridings in this country, and we're going to take them all. It's pretty simple. We're going to really work the magic. This is our world. This is our country. Pretty sure if you were born here, you love this land. If you come here, people always ask you, why have you come here? Well, I've come here to be free. I've come here. This is the land of milk and honey. This is the promised land. This is the land that the Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Ishmael too has promised me. This is the reason why I've come to Canada, because truly it is the land of milk and honey. Look at the water, look at the soil, look at the air, look at the atmosphere. This country has potential, yet I see it going down the tubes. We are selling it out for just what's missing over here. What is missing, or what will I bring is vision. We lack the vision that we need for this country, long-term vision. Short-term vision is, half of our loaf is better than no loaf, and all those insane cutting corners and making excuses to take payday loans to give. That's how we are functioning. We are functioning on taking payday loans. We are functioning on selling off bits of this country to various diverse interests just to pay and give out loans and bursaries to countries that are taking that money and doing nothing with it. For example, Ukraine, we give them almost $500 million or 300 million is close to $500 million in aid to keep the current on and the electricity on and the heat flowing and all. But let me ask the average citizen of Ukraine, do you have heat? Do you have electricity? So where is that money gone? It's become like a money mongering machine. Not that I'm saying it's bad, it's a system of a failure, and we got to change these things. Let me give you a few reasons why I'm running. First is we got to stem this barreling down to this war. There is a war happening, and it's a world war, and we are being drawn in, and we, for one, have been painted up as being the bad people. This war was on since Donald Trump came on. I think a long time ago I tweeted. There's a book called by Sun Tzu. It's called The Art of War. And guess what? Donald Trump, he plagiarized that book, and he called it, what did he call it? Five points for anybody who's up to snuff. He called it The Art of the Deal. So I tweeted a long time ago, is how does the art of the deal, because when you read the art of the deal, it is just the same as the art of war. Right? Did you get me, or did you not get me? It's the same as the art of war, the same principles and the same everything. So, since the art of war has been on, since Donald Trump has come to power and taken upon himself to crucify our wonderful Chinese brothers and sisters, let me tell you, my friend, you might have reservations and considerations about the Chinese people, but they ain't no good old little American town without a Chinese restaurant. China is everywhere. China is an old civilization. This is my song, praising my soul. So we gotta learn how to live with China. China has been, you have to have Western cowboys. Have you seen Shanghai Noon? Well, do you not like Jackie Chan, sir? Have you seen Shanghai Noon? The Chinese people are an integral part of all civilizations. They've been gold diggers. They laid the tracks that connected the Canadian Pacific to the old kind of railroads. The railroads have been built on the backs and lives of the Chinese people. And the poor, you call them the Chinaman. For every mile of railroad track that has been laid, one Chinaman at least has given up his soul, his spirit. So take your perception and fix it. Fix it rightly. Fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it. Okay, so we need to learn to live with China. We need to understand that Chinese people are pretty human too. Of course, they look like a little bit smart and too clever and all that, but it's your perception. Your perception is poor. What do you think? If I wear a suit and tie and all that, that I'm a cat's whiskers? It's your perception. It's the way you see me. This is my song, praising my son. So what else? I need your support. I need you to do active participation. We're going to scale. Democracy is a scaling failure, and we need to scale it up. We need like a little bit of an upgrade, not a little bit, a big upgrade in legislation process. How does the legislation? Suppose we need a new law. Like all of y'all are giving out information with abandon about, what is your sexual preference? Are you two-spirited? Are you one-spirited? Are you like a gay? Do you represent this? Do you identify with that and all that? Like Workday, in most recruitment firms, most companies, HR companies are gathering that information. So all your sexual preferences, your gender identification has been stored in a database. Now suppose there's a change. Canada has a change in government, conservative, where homosexuality is illegal. There was a time, Mr. Layton, I think he got caught up in a brothel or something like that. Homosexuality was a crime not far too long ago. And by the way of Mr. Poilievre and all are gone, and all this, because we are swung to another direction. We are pushed and pushed the gay bandwagon. So people have come to their laissez tether. So there's legislation to come about the gender, where anybody who is of a different gender needs to be neutralized. That's the law going to be, sir. That kind of legislation is possible. First reading, brought forth by a private members bill, polybehavior, yeah. So, and the same with cannabis. All people who have registered numbers with cannabis, that are with the cannabis industry, will be prosecuted for illegal consumption of drugs. What about that kind of new law? And then that party has a majority and they're going to pass it through. It is. You haven't taken the time to see how the laws have been passed. Hateful laws. And they will get royal sanction, and you will have to live and abide by those laws or move. You're going to move to Guatemala or Bolivia and rather take the landslides and forget the land of milk and honey. Why? It's because you have thrown away your right to run for elections, the right to put your name on the federal ballot, the right to proper legislation. Legislation needs to come from the people. People need to spring it forth, and we need to collect it from the people and then bring it up slowly, slowly and step by step. Everybody has a good opinion. Everybody is an exception to the law. Everybody is a special case scenario. And we need to incorporate that in legislation. All right? And that's what we're going to do with smart democracy. Well, you see, I have a couple house, but I'm also a software engineer, right? I make software for the enterprise. I integrate the enterprise. That is what my plan is, to integrate the enterprise, to bring the power of enterprise software to the process of legislation. How is the legislation made currently? We have like people, we have like people, a bunch of people getting together and deciding that what's good for you. What's good for you is we will decide and let you know what's good for you because you have said that this person is capable of representing my interests. You've already committed to your thing. You are signed and sealed and delivered over here. So now cock up and do not question my intelligence when I tell you that you will be prosecuted to the highest limit for the consumption of any plants, for your gender, for your sexuality. It can't be that way. But yet, if we bring up, like, take everybody's problem, like, everybody has an idea, everybody has a problem. We collect all the data, analyze it, and then we use the power of the enterprise to like integrate all the failures. Why are so many people in jail? Why are so many of the bail conditions breached? Why are so many people dying of COVID? Why are we at war with our enemies? Why is all this happening? What are the solutions for it? We take all that information and put it all together and gather it up, and then we formulate laws that are natural, laws that are made for humans by human beings, laws that are sacred, laws that are in resonance, laws that are representation of the naturalness of humanity, of human beings, laws that we can abide by and live by, laws that are nurturing, laws that are fundamental for our leap to a planetary civilization. Okay, so that is where we're going to bring the power of the enterprise. The power of the enterprise is, it sounds a little complicated, and it is very complicated because enterprise is a large thing. Like the Amazon is the enterprise, Alibaba is an enterprise. Like, how do you think you get all those big bang next day delivery? Because everything goes through a workflow. It's the start and there's the end. It's triggered and it goes to a thing. Put the labels, put this, put it in the machine, put that thing, package it, label it, put it, bang, it goes out. So we're going to do the same kind of thing, and all that input is going to come from human beings. Same. Holla, 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 holla. I run for the Federal Ballot, so one of the tests of being run for. So we gotta learn how to live with China. China has been. Chinese people are pretty human too. Of course, they look like a little bit smart too. You know, Mr. Layton, I think he got caught up in a brothel of Bolivia, and rather take the landslides and forget the land of milk and honey. Why? Is because you have thrown away your right to run, bring the power of enterprise software. That's the law be is a special case scenario, and we need to incorporate that in legislation. Bill, polybehavior, yeah. So, and the same with cannabis. All people who have registered numbers with cannabis that are with the cannabis industry will be prosecuted for illegal consumption of drugs. What about that kind of new law? and then that party has a majority and they're going to pass it through. It is. You haven't taken the time to see how the laws have been passed. Hateful laws, and they will get royal sanction, and you will have to live and abide by those laws or move. You're going to move to Guatemala or Bolivia and rather take the landslides and forget the land of milk and honey. Why? Is because you have thrown away your right to run for elections, the right to put your name on the federal ballot, the right to proper legislation. Legislation needs to come from the people. People need to spring it forth, and we need to collect it from the people and then bring it up slowly and step by step. Everybody has a good opinion. Everybody is an exception to the law. Everybody is a special case scenario, and we need to incorporate that in legislation. All right? And that's what we're going to do with smart democracy. Well, you see, I have a couple house, but I'm also a software engineer, right? I make software of the enterprise. I integrate the enterprise. So that is what my plan is, to integrate the enterprise, to bring the power of enterprise software to the process of legislation. How is the legislation made currently? We have like people, we have like a bunch of people getting together and deciding that what's good for you. What's good for you is we will decide and let you know what's good for you, because you have said that this person is capable of representing my interests. You've already committed to your thing. You have signed and sealed and delivered over here. So now cock up and do not question my intelligence when I tell you that you will be prosecuted to the highest limit for the consumption of any plants, for your gender, for your sexuality. It can't be that way. But yet, if we bring up, like, take everybody's problem, like everybody has an idea, everybody has a problem, we collect all the data, analyze it, and then we use the power of the enterprise to like integrate all the failures. Why are so many people in jail? Why are so many of the bail conditions breached? Why are so many people dying of COVID? Why are we at war with our enemies? Why is all this happening? What are the solutions for it? We take all that information and put it all together and gather it up, and then we formulate laws that are natural, laws that are made for humans by human beings, laws that are sacred, laws that are in resonance, laws that are representation of the naturalness of humanity, of human beings, laws that we can abide by and live by, laws that are nurturing, laws that are fundamental for our leap to a planetary civilization. Okay, so that is where we're going to bring the power of the enterprise. The power of the enterprise is, it sounds a little complicated, and it is very complicated, because enterprise is a large thing. Like the Amazon is the enterprise, Alibaba is an enterprise. Like, how do you think you get all those big bang next day delivery? Because everything goes through a workflow. It's the start and there's the end. It's triggered and it goes to a thing. Put the labels, put this, put it in the machine, put that thing, package it, label it, put it, bang, it goes out. So we're going to do the same kind of thing, and all that input is going to come from human beings. Same with the judicial system. The judicial system is a wreck. The current judicial system is based on the same principles of the Spanish Inquisition of the 13th century, of the heretics, witches, and witches. So, Most of them were found guilty because they refused to take an oath. And they're Christians too. Doesn't Jesus tell you that you're not supposed to take any oaths and vain words? You're not supposed to take His name in vain, or the name of God in vain. Believe it or not, nothing has changed with the judicial system. It's the same old system. It is all about perspective. The law is perspective. Each and every one of you like to criticize the law and the other laws of the people, and fundamentally, what laws are law. But the law again is perspective. It's like, what kind of law do you want to take out today and slap on the table? Do you want to make it about promiscuity as a law that you want to enforce, or you want to enforce the law of temperance, or do you want to enforce the laws of pigskin? Yeah, like I think Charlie Sheen talks about, are we going to stone every human being that plays football because he's holding on to a piece of pigskin? Because the football is a pigskin. I think it used to be the pig bladder or the pig something. Now you have rubber and all that, but it's still originally the pigskin. Was the law made for human beings, or the human beings made for the law? Now the judicial system is all about perspective. That's why anytime you get into problems with the law, it says, shush, keep quiet, say nothing, and get a lawyer. So when you say nothing, first of all, it all starts with a blank slate. And they're going to play the game. This is it. The law loves me. I've been crucified. I've been followed. I've been married to the law. Every time I saw my fan, Georgia Peach wife, is an alumni of Georgia State University. She's a valedictorian from Georgia State. School of law, attorney at law. So I've been even married to the law. Right? So, and I've seen the law over there in the corridors of Dixieland. It's all about negotiation. I give you them. I'll give you Mr. Joe if you give me Mr. Hale. You can have Karen if I give you this. That guy swings, I will give you a settlement conference kind of, I will give you the Mr. Ephraim aid to keep the current on and the electricity on for the settlement conference. So when you say nothing, first the lawyer is going to, it all loves me. I've been crucified. I've been followed. I've been married to the law. Every time I saw my fan, Georgia Peach wife, tail on the elephant. Like, where would you put the tail? Would you put the eye of Georgia State University? She's a valedictorian from Georgia State. School of law, attorney at law. So I've been even married to the law. Right? So, and I've seen the law over there in the corridors of Dixieland. It's all about negotiation. I give you them. I'll give you Mr. Joe if you give me Mr. Hale. You can have Karen if I give you this. That guy swings, I will give you a settlement conference kind of, I will give you the Mr. Ephraim's inheritance for the settlement conference. And then the lawyer is going to, it is actually the game of pin the tail on the elephant. That is what the judicial system can be aptly described as. Pin the tail on the elephant. So can we have like elephant? Yes, sir, that's your elephant. Now, you got to pin the tail on the elephant. Like, where would you put the tail? Would you put it here, or here? Where's the elephant trunk now? Yeah, it doesn't look like an elephant trunk. They pin the tail on the elephant. So the elephant say, yeah, in them our tail, them look like a tail. Damn tail, no, we need a tumble a team. It's too woo. See again, this is perspective. You, the Crusader moment. I love this song. Behold, almost Lord of Savior. But again, have you truly, actually considered the Muslim scripture? The scripture, the holy scripture of the El Kitab, in which it validates and insists you will believe in the virgin birth of Jesus Christ. You will believe that Jesus is the Messiah. You know, Messiah is very important, my friend. You must be hung up about who is daddy of Jesus and all that. But Messiah is the greatest title you can possibly achieve, because the Messiah will come at the day of judgment to judge the living and the dead. And at that time, you, and who believes this? It's the Muslims. So again, this war against the Muslims was started by the Eastern Empire. Right, there was the Eastern Empire and the Western Empire. The Rome and thing was too big, so they cut it in two. And then the Arabs were winning. They were winning and ruling and thing until they until the Eastern Empire, Justinian and all those things, those haters, they say, look at the Arabs. They are profaning the land. Look at what they've done to Jerusalem. Well, you forget the mercies that Saladin showed to Jerusalem. Did you not? Or did you not? I said, did you or did you not? Saladin, he forgave everybody. He said, this is holy land, buddy. We're not going to kill nobody, woman, child, anybody. Go and baksh. Baksh means forgiven. And yet you have been caught up in like a crusader moment, killing the very people who lost in translation. I would say you go find a Muslim person and hug him, sir, and say, you was right, my brother. We need to be better Christians and better Jews. And that is what a Muslim man is, a Muslim. That is the meaning of the word Musalman. Musa is Moses and Iman. We believe in the Iman of Moses. Our loyalty is to the laws of Moses. Now, which part of Moses is not in Christianity, sir? You know why you need to vote for me? Because this hymn, the sweet by and by, is the epitaph of my father, the great John Henri. Yep, I'm the son of John Henri, my friend. You know, man versus machine, the railroad builder, laying out track. Who can do it faster, John Henri or the machine? This is his epitaph. People show in the sweet by and by. There's the John Henri. Them are John Henri, sir. Mr. John Henri, my pops. This is his epitaph. He's a great man. He's a warrior, a teacher, a rabbi, you know, an imam. He's a wise man. He comes directly from the lineage of the three wise men that came to visit Jesus Christ. They came to witness the virgin giving birth to a child. They came to see, they followed the star, and he is the direct descendant of one of the wise guys. So yes, I am a wise guy. And we shall surely meet on a beautiful show. And that's what my Christianity is all about. Why do we want to follow Christianity? It is because of the promise of eternal life. The promise of eternal life is the reason why Jesus proved to us, that he can conquer death. But there's a whole lot of following over there. Just believing in him ain't going to cut it. You have to be ridiculous. First of all, you have to first find that pearl, the treasure that you plowed up in the field. And then you got to learn it, and then you have to apply it, and only then you will enter the kingdom of heaven. If you want to live in this delusion that just believe in, all you got to do is believe in me. Yes, that's the first step, my friend. So this is my first message to you. I'm going to put out one every day, maybe with music or without music. But we first going to take Canada, and then we're going to take planet Earth. We can't afford to be passive democracies. You have to be active. Take active participation in democracy. Because without active participation in democracy, we are going to go down the tubes. We have this war is, we are really outgunned, outwitted, outnumbered, and there's really this, I call this the war about nothing. This is the war about nothing, sir. Absolutely zero, nothing. Gobblegoo, gobblegitch. What are you fighting about? Nothing. Are you a veteran of the war of nothing, 2023 to 2039? Yeah, I serve diligently. I serve my country, my people, in the war of nothing. We've been running, okay? Believe me, I'm on your side. I'm on the side of milk and honey. I'm on the side of this planet. I'm on the side of goodness. I'm on the side of righteousness. I'm on the side of steadfastness. I truly don't want to be Prime Minister of Canada, but I sure is will going to be the Emperor of planet Earth. So the Prime Minister is like a small job, so it's like very tiny. It's so tiny, it's like the tits on Justin Trudeau. They're very tiny. Or it's like the morals and ethics and the loyalty of Mr. Pauly. We got to give the man his due by calling him by his last name, Mr. Pauly Forever or something like that. Pauly Ever? Pauly Ever, that's what it means. Pauly. He is a Pauly, and how can you tell a Pauly from a man? A Pauly copies everything else. It puts the lyrebird into shame. A Pauly copy, even what I say, the Pauly is going to copy it and say it's his own. Have you ever worked with a person where you tell him all his ideas and he goes and tells the boss your ideas first and he gets the credit and he claims credit for your ideas? That's what Pauly is. Pauly lacks vision. We can't have Pauly as our Prime Minister for 2023. I will be your Prime Minister, sir. And we will create laws that are worthy of royal assent. Laws created by humanity, by human beings, for human beings. We will have justice that is community justice. Justice that makes sense, that is instantly. We're not going to wait upon this Spanish Inquisition that will years and years and generations, and it's like our perspective is the law. The lawyers know how to taint the perspective of that blind woman that's sitting on the bench. Justice may be blind, but the judges are biased. They're not blind. There's only one thing that we expect from a judge, and that is to be unbiased and unaffected, and to create judgment. The judge knows exactly what's going on, but he can't do nothing because he has to pretend to be blind and be followed and be misled by the members of the Law Society of Upper Canada, Lower Canada, the Queen's Bench, Queen's Council, the Law Societies of Alberta, British Columbia, and all of them. These are failed. These are failed societies. Exactly what is a society? You and I are a society. The relationships we breed and the relationships that we have and sustain defines a society. It's the relationships that define a society. It's not a society that dictates to us what it is. The society, the law societies have failed their mandate. They will be dissolved and we will have justice from the people. The people will be the justice. And we'll be swift, we'll be kind, we'll be just, and we're not going to incarcerate people over and over again just for selling dope and doing this dope and doing that. We just churning out criminals. And what a waste of time. You have to put this person in the pen and then you have to treat them like luxury. You have to make sure that they get their 3 meals a day, square meals a day. You have to make sure that they live forever, all those things. And you will not do anything except sit in a corner and brush your little wiener with toothpaste. No, we're going to find better kind of criminal justice systems, sir. We are going to have and move towards a planetary civilization governed by the people. We are going to be like a happy anthill on planet Earth. Okay, I need to go to church as I'm running for pastor too. As the new pastor of the New Horizons Methodist Free Church, and I'm going to redefine all the conventionalities and what is the meaning of being a Methodist. Christianity the way it's supposed to be. And I have a mighty task. And so vote for Henri, people. Vote for Henri or run against me. Do not have these convoys and all those things. Follow the process. Use the instruments that are available to you. And you have the power and the full authority as being a Canadian citizen to run for election and seek office. That is your birthright, sir, and I suggest you start exercising your birthright. So either you run for me, or you come up with policy, or you join me, or you run against me. I will not hold it against you, my friend. I like you. I is like you. And this October 2023, vote for Henri. Henri the Great, with all humility and respect. Amen and amen. We will a Canada, we will a planet Earth, and we shall overcome. There's no shall, will, and all that. We will overcome October 2023. And that is the promise of God. Hello. Vote for Henri is what you need to remember. This is my proposition to you, my friend. You either run for elections. I want to see your name, your fine name on the election ballot. Or I would like you to consider delegating me with your vote. I would like you to express your trust in my ethics, in my morals, in my intentions as to why I would want to put my name on the federal ballot of Sarnia Lambton. Sarnia Lambton has a new name. It's called Becca Jawang or something. I need to meet with my people who have given me this great spirit feather and ask them the real meaning of the word that the new Sarnia Lambton writing is called about. We talk about why vote for me. How about I give you a few reasons why? One is the relationship between the indigenous and the non-indigenous So what makes you indigenous? Well, I'm indigenous too, in the sense that my comfort zone is nature. So I'm indigenous to land in the sense that I have lived with the indigenous of the world. I take solace in like disappearing for some time in indigenous dwellings, in indigenous settings, where you're one with the land, you are part of the land, you are part of nature. I think all of us do. That's why we like camping and going off in the bush and living in isolation and all those things. But the the indigenous relationship is marred, is exploitive. It has been, it is a slur, and we keep on talking about reconciliation, this and the truth and reconciliation crock that's been simmering for a whole long time. The investigative reports, and we won't have like a real investigation of the residential school system and the unmarked graveyards while we like bring about legislation to sugarcoat this the failures of society and the brutality and the ignorance and the perpetuation of all kinds of criminal acts on the just on the nature of trying to wipe out a whole civilization. Well, for me, I have just two words to give you. I think I mentioned this before, and that is applied reconciliation. Applied. You know what's the meaning of applied? We're gonna quit talking and more action, like less words and more action, so is what we know. So we're gonna embrace everything indigenous. We're going to start by bringing out indigenous languages. Indigenous languages are complex. I think some of the languages spoke by the Salish Seas, they were like meta languages. You know what a meta language is? Now I'm talking software. I'm like pretty thing too. That's why you need to vote for me, because I'm dibs on software. I'm the commander of software. I integrate the enterprise of software. Getting back to the languages. So it's a meta language as in BYOB. Is English a meta language? Yeah, just recently after the war, so it's become like a meta language. So what's BYOB? Bring your own baby. But you got to know the whole bring your own baby, or your okay is all correct, or SOL, so out of luck, is Polyvier and Justin Trudeau. All those things are meta languages. And thousands of years ago, those kind of meta languages, I think it's Muscat or some languages, there's so few people who speak those languages that they're only 10 or 20. So that was the ancient cultures too. But we came along and we thrashed them all and we put them all with just English speech, sir. We're going to speak English and English, and you will now speak no more nothing. Once you take away the language, you take away everything. You take away the meaning for snow, you take away the meaning of words, you take out the locality. So our reconciliation is going to start with language. We are going to learn to speak, and we're going to bring out the languages. Once you bring out every word, the Inuit have like 26 different words for snow. Snow, I know a few words for snow. One is don't eat yellow snow, and then the powdery fluff that comes from Alberta, and the little mucky slush that comes from Halifax, if it's like an Atlantic storm. Really, you can tell the recent one, the last storm we got was from Alberta. It was the Alberta Clipper. The one before that, that was like all the sheet and ass and all them things, is the Atlantic gifts. So we are going to do applied reconciliation. There's lots to learn. These indigenous societies are functioning without like in harmony with nature. There were no big dumps, there were no oil spill, there were no cracks of that. So that's one reason. Applied reconciliation. Second is technology. We want to use technology in positive way. Now it's imperative. It's clear. Technology can be both. It can be your worst enemy and it can be your best friend. It is all as in the laws. You, technology can make you debase. Technology can be used to replace you. This whole paradigm of everything is free, that Gmail is free, Fmail is free, this is free, it's all free, 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 free. That's when you got to know that you are the product. Your data, your information, this video, your facial recognition, your voice, everything is being used against you, has become a commodity, is becoming valuable data for data analytics. I'm an analyst too. I work for the Ministry of Health in analyzing situations. So I indeed do analyze all situations, and I have vision. So there's three. One is applied reconciliation. That is master of technology. The other reason is I'm an analyst. I analyze much things. I've analyzed everything that's going on over here. The war in Ukraine, it needs to stop right now. NATO will back the hell out of the Baltics. You go to Riga, sir. We're going to take a stand back. We're going to lead from behind, from far. We're going to show Russia that we don't want to fight. Listen, my friend, Ukraine is not the reason. Ukraine is the excuse. When somebody wants to fight with you, they pick up any kind of excuse. Look at his hat. That looks like a hat that is heretically that of a medicine man. Is you wearing a medicine man hat again? So, when somebody wants to fight with you, you fight for them when you want to fight, my friend. That's what the one great samurai, I think is Mashimoto, thinks that. I'll fight with you when I feel like fighting with you, not when you want me to fight with you. So in olden days, samurais were like regal, say, okay, I'll meet you at sundown, like they were like our cowboys, like Westerners. I'll meet you at dawn at Sunset Beach, like on Saratoga, and we have a showdown with our swords. So, hey, hey! And so he doesn't show up. He's busy eating like a big breakfast. Might as well have like a big breakfast before going for a fight. So he gets everybody like whipped up and whoa, like, why haven't you showed up? You said you're gonna show up. I'm like, at dawn, I've been waiting you for 2 hours. You did not show up. And then finally he shows up, and he shows up with a fake freaking sword. Like usually a samurai sword is like 1 meter. He actually takes a piece of wood and makes it look like a samurai sword, and that thing is 2 meters. So now how are you going to fight with a sword that's 2 meters, my friend? He changes the laws. He changes the laws of the dueling match, and he whoops that man with a fake wooden sword, and he kills him because he knows that if he took on the man when he wanted to fight with the kind of swords and with normal conventional weapons, he would be dead. So those are the rules of war. You do not fight when you're forced to fight. You fight when you want to feel like fighting. And we need to stop fighting because it's a war of nothing. So that's again applied reconciliation, bringing back the languages of the ancient things, bringing back the words. The words, they breathe life. As in the Bible said, in the beginning there was the Word. We are children of light. The unification of societies. We are going, and then one of the most important thing that makes you move is shelter and food. Your primary fundamental fear as a human being is of being homeless. You're frightened of being homeless. You're mortally scared of being homeless. So we're going to take that away and guaranteed food and shelter. We're going to have like a new planetary civilization, and it all starts from Canada, because Canada is everything. It is the milk of land of milk and honey. We have the makings of a Sumerian civilization right here by the Great Lakes. We have water, we have water. This is the land of water, man. Water, water, water up the wazoo. Another reason why you need to vote for me. The new water laws. We need fair human water laws. Because you, my friend, how would you define yourself physically? You is 70% water. Water, 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 water. You 70% water, all and a lot of other chemicals mixed up like a piece of nail, a metal of nail, and a little bit of cabbage and cucumbers. That's what you had. Melons, yeah, you got some fruit melons too, of noteworthy, remarkable dimensions. So we need better water laws. Currently, water has been privatized. You don't got the dough, you don't got the money, you don't got no water, sir. And water is the new thing. Our water is messed up. Again, the pollution level of our water is all perspective. Like, at what level are you going to consider it? Are you going to consider the nanoparticles, plastic particles? Are you going to consider nano pollution? Are you going to consider? So we have our work cut out for us. We need heavy thinking, moving human soul on earth. Before we thought of each other as vermin, as competition, but no, we are going to live like happy ants on an anthill, and where everybody is guaranteed food and shelter. We're going to have, yes, guaranteed food and shelter. That is my one-liner. Like, do you remember Obama's one-liner? Change you can believe in. Well, I'm pretty sure you believe in that change, and I'm pretty sure that Obama believed in that change at that moment in time. But then the system is a failure. You either fall in or you're out. So that's the reason why we need to upgrade the system. We need to make the system bottom up. We need to make the system, design a new system, and bring the power of the enterprise, bring the power so that each and every one of that little ant in that anthill is heard. Each one of them have a good idea that we implement. Each one of them is an exception that does not meet standard statutory lowest common denominator laws. All those things. So we're going to bring about proper legislation process. We're going to bring about proper judicial process. We're going to bring about proper applied reconciliation. We're going to have peace on earth. Yeah, because the earth is going through a very, very hard time. It's like very, very hard time. And we just have till about 2030 to get our act together and move towards a planetary civilization. Because if we don't, we are like doomed. We are doomed to hell. We are doomed to hell. We're going to have to restart and rethink. It's going to take billions of years to come back and get back to where we are. We are almost at the epitome of Atlantis. You know, like Plato said, Atlantis disappeared overnight. That is the truth. Because that's what's going to happen. That is what's going to happen. So when a polar shift does happen, polarity happens. Albert Einstein, your favorite scientist, your favorite hater of quantum mechanics, does say that the poles shift regularly. I think they shift over a span of 100 years. That is confirmed through the rings of a tree. That is confirmed through the stalagmites that drip, 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 those magnets that form. So I am talking scientific analysis. And the climate change that is going is just going to become catastrophic and catastrophic until the poles flip. So we are at a stage in life where we either unite as a planetary civilization and we work together and come together because we need everybody. This is another reason why you need to vote for me, because every life is precious. Even the pigs are precious. Because a pig can look at you, we are underestimated. All we think of a pig is as bacon or as like a filthy animal. But a pig can evaluate you and see if you have COVID or not with one sniff. That's why the pig is used to trigger truffles. You know, the pig, they are all the biggest part of being a living thing, a human thing, is our ability to trigger events. Is me making this video is going to trigger a whole different ball game, take this planet into a whole new direction. We have the ability of stopping events, affecting events, moving events, changing things. We have the ability to put things into place and into gear, take them out of gear, and that is the most imperative thing. We don't need people to suffer like John Henri and crucify himself and like do hard labor. Like, have you done any hard labor? I have done that. That's why you need to vote for me. I know how hard it takes. I've been like a bricklayer helper in Calgary, Alberta. I built the Kenwood showroom. Yeah, the Kenwood showroom on McLeod. I built it in minus 28. I like the bricks. I was a bricklayer helper. I used to cut those bright bricks. And you know, when you cut concrete bricks, all the thing goes in your nose. And it's one of the most hazardous process. And those bricks are made with laced with asbestos and all kinds of crap. I've also worked as a framer helper. That's another hard job. Hauling lumber, hauling those 2x4s and all those things from the basement up. I used to do them pile by pile, man. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I used to put them things on my thing and like pull them. Pull them when my sinew and my beast and my thing with my snot running on my nose and all frozen to my beard and face. In minus 28. So that's why you need to vote for me. We don't need people to be doing all those things. We have machines that will be doing it. Sunlight and sunshine will be providing for us the energy that we need to do it. We're going to be collecting sunshine and sunlight. Forget about the solar panels of conversion. We need to quit on this conversion and go into collection, because that's how this planet works, by collecting solar energy. Because in one day, the energy that's emanated from the sun is enough energy to sustain us throughout the thing. So we got to learn of collecting it. We're going to collect lightning. Yeah, one shot of lightning collected is going to do you good for a long time. And you can bring on down lightning on will. All you got to do is put up an antenna and set up the rocket. Set up ha 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 ha. When boom, zip, the thing hits. Zip, it hits. And there you have your full capacitor charge. So I'm pretty sure there's charging. There's no limit. We are going to go move this planet up the Kardashian scale, where we're able to harness and use the whole of our energy of our star for everything. We're going to move to a star-faring civilization. That's another reason why you need to vote for me, is because we are going to go into space in a good way. Now, the thing about space is the destination is the journey. And so we got to make sure that we enjoy the journey. We got to it's like going camping and not returning. And I have a space program lined up for 2031. The focus is on thriving in space, not on like surviving like sardines when the scars and wiping your with your toothpaste and drinking your piss and all them things. No, we're going to live dignified. Have you ever been camping and forgot the stove? And you go camping and you forget the sleeping bag, sir. The man has forgotten the sleeping bag, the tent poles, the flashlights, and he's going camp. Yeah, all he has is an axe. You can go camping, so. Well, I can because I'm indigenous, you know. I live with the Chenchus of India. And they have like a gala life. All they have is an axe and a blanket. When they go camping, like, that's all you need, my friend, an axe and a blanket and a fire maker, you know, making fire. There's 100 different, anyway. Did I go off too far? Did I go off on too many tangents? But the imperative is for you to be an active participant in the democratic process. So my proposition, again, I repeat myself to you, is either you run for elections, you put yourself on the federal ballot, so be my guest, welcome, or you kindly please vote for me, because we need this change. We need this change, because if we don't, we are heading to the slaughter. We are barreling down this war. The reason for this war is actually because the domestic front is a disaster. Our domestic issues, inflation is, why am I saying guaranteed food and shelter? Is because pretty soon inflation does a damn. You're not going to afford your mortgage. You're not going to afford your rent. The money that you get is not going to be enough to pay your rent, to pay your mortgage. The money that you get is not going to be enough to buy you your groceries and go into the land of milk and honey and all those mountains and fruit and all. They're still there. It's just you're not able to buy it. It's too expensive. $1,000 for a freaking apple. Why? It's because you've done it to yourself. It's like Donald Trump has done it to you. They fixed the Dow Jones Index. They fixed the Nasdaq to go up anyhow. All those things, they can be manipulated. You can put in through volume transactions, you can manipulate them. If you have enough money, you can manipulate any kind of thing. And the markets have been manipulated because the interest rate was zero. If you have good credit, you go and put a bank, take a loan, billions of dollars, put it on gold, buy $1 billion of the thing of gold. All those guys will go on shot. You decimate them, and then again you can move the thing up and down, higher and higher, higher and higher. And you know, when they call $1 trillion, when Elon Musk hit $1 trillion, when Amazon hit $1 trillion, you got to know all those things trickle down. So all those costs and those zeros added behind the dollars, they don't make people richer. They just make it, it's an inflation. So that inflation is going to come knocking on your door pretty soon. And that is the reason why I'm saying guaranteed food and shelter, because you are going to be homeless and you are not going to have the money to feed yourself. Welcome to Soup Lines. And we are going, on top of that, we are going to heading straight to a war that we can't afford. We absolutely can't afford to lose, because we're going to lose. We do not have the proper missiles. We talk about Leopard tanks, my arse tanks, screw your tanks, sir. We do not have the biddy bang, biddy boom. What's a biddy bang, biddy boom? The biddy bang, biddy boom is the two-stage missile process that both the Chinese and the Russians have proven capabilities. The biddy bang, biddy boom is first a big missile goes up into the sky, and that one, it lets out the mini-me. Now the mini-me is still potent. It has like a real warhead and all that, but the mini-me, it can go 5 times around the earth, and it can strike anywhere, anytime, and it can go and evade radar, it can evade NORAD, it can go through, I think, it can go for double at Tim Hortons and say, no, I don't feel like bombing Tim Hortons, I'm going to go to Starbucks because I like Starbucks coffee. So that is the challenge with the war. It's, what's it called? So, and the United States of America has proven defenseless against it. What are you going to do? You can't. All your missile systems are triggered for A to A. What if you have you heard about the tsunami missile, the tsunami bomb, the Prometheus? So it's already laid on each and every continental shelf. So we use like baked cookies. So while you've been scratching your kids and updating your Facebook and your Instagram of your last delicious meal of Omaha steak, Charlie has been perfecting his weapon and line up a big large bunch of Campbell soup, ass whoop flavor with mushroom, cream of mushroom, all for you. So that is the reason why we need to buck up, shake up, and rerun for elections. Because you rethink this. That's the reason why you've never seen me before. You don't know who I am. I'd rather be nobody enjoying my land of milk and honey. There's nothing like being Mr. Nobody from Norway, Canada, Ontario, NON0N0. Now that's a real place in Canada. Living on the land of milk and honey, where you get your yogurt and your cheese and your milk, and you have honey all around you, my friend. Honey, honey, it's me, honey, honey. That's all a man needs. That's why I came to Canada. And now you're taking away my honey and milk and saying that I have to pay $84 for water. Yeah, that's what you're going to pay, $84 for water. Whether you use it or you don't use it, or you like it or you don't like it, you're going to weigh it for drinking and for pussing. We're going to connect it like a meter to your appendages. And the amount of water that you drink is not measured by the amount of water that you urinate. We're going to assume that all the water that you have drunk is the water that you've urinated down the sewers, and we're going to charge double whammy you and make it charge you for the water that you consume, as the input is equal to the output too. That's simple, basic fluid dynamics. It has to go somewhere, and we are going to assume it's going down the sewer. That's the kind of bad legislation that we're working with. That's the bad kind of legislation that Margaret Thatcher has brought about. That's the bad kind of legislation that is right there haunting you, and you don't even know about it. And those are all bad laws and bad rules and bad things that have been made, and we can't live like that. That is the reason why I will be on the federal ballot, and I seek your support, and I seek your help, and I seek your understanding about what is right and what is wrong. And I would like to end, because I got to go to church. I have to be pastor. I'm running for pastor, so lead pastor of the Free Methodist Church. And I'm always late for church. The pastor who's always late is like the man who's going to be late for the said funeral, because he's never going to die. He's a real Christian. He believes in eternal life, so he's going to be late for his funeral too. The latest man. So my proposition to you is open, is direct, straightforward, and it's meaningful. You either run for elections or you vote for Henri in October 2023. And this is not edited. This is straight out the heart. It's straight from my mind. I am not editing it. I am not changing it. Hopefully the meditations of my heart and the words that I've spoken have made some sense to you and some reason to you, rather than I prepare a speech and lie to you through my teeth and gain your trust like Mr. Tardo has done. He's gained the trust that Mr. Wilson thing, and made her into the AG, or put her in some position, and when she tried to bring SNC Lava to account, you kind of whooped her and betrayed her. No, I ain't doing anything, sir. I'm speaking straight from the heart, straight from the mind, and this is my proposition to you. You either run for elections, get your name on the federal ballot, all of you who had any kind of problems, the convoy, anybody, you exercise your right in democracy to be on the ballot, or I do ask you to consider voting for me. Because my vote for me, this is my campaign. You rule, sir, you rule, and we will rule. We will all rule together, because that would be true democracy. We will have a planetary, starfaring civilization. We will live in the land of milk and honey. We will live where food is guaranteed. There will be no more homeless. There will be no more hungry. Where you will be free to choose the things you like to do, the things that move you, rather than be enslaved to your house, enslaved to the fact that if you do not do this thing that you despise and wake up and do this thing that you do not like, you know what is the greatest commandment that Jesus said? Do not do that which you hate. I've been trying to meditate on the real commandments of Jesus. That's true. That is the greatest commandment of Jesus. Do not do that which you hate. Yet our whole lives are formulated and things by doing things that we absolutely despise and hate. You will be moved to do things and you will bring the bounty of yourself. Same with another thing that you need to vote for me is because of the issues of overdose crisis, of the drug addictions. I have a solution for that too, but you'll have to listen to my next stream. All this is going to be streamed, and I am choosing Google to stream my stuff. But Google, I have plans for you too. I was supposed to be the chief vision officer of Google Incorporated, and I still will be. Google, you will change the paradigm. The paradigm is going to change from the people being made into the product to the people being paid. Everyone who has a Google account will be paid for the input, for being triggers, for the attention, because that's what work is going to be. Work, remote work. The good thing about COVID is it brought redefined remote work. Remote work is just pressing a few buttons. You can turn the lights on and off from office. You can check on your baby. You can do all those things. You can mine in a different remote place. You can clean up the oceans all remotely using pressing buttons. Just pressing buttons, sir. Clicking buttons, pressing buttons. That's all your job's going to be. And so for that, you won't believe it. Human beings are meant perfectly for that. Just pressing buttons. Triggering events, stopping and starting events, moving things, doing decisions. And that is what our work is, and that is what our virtue is as human beings. Asking the same machine to make those things is like $1 billion project. You know, all these autonomous cars, to decide, is that a human being on a cycle, or is that a nightingale urinating in the middle of the street, or is that like a flashing light? But a human being can tell immediately, and that is what we are, and that is our virtue. And we're going to put all those things, intelligence, the smartness is in the human being. It doesn't cost much to make a human being. All it needs is a little food, a little water, a shelter, happiness, the enjoyment, respect, dignity, privacy. No, it doesn't take much to make a person happy. The love of family, love of a thing, it's all simple. And yet you bring to the table this ability to trigger events, to move events. We're going to apply technology to make our lives. Earth is our spaceship. We're going to, believe it or not, Earth is moving at a speed unknown. It's a breakneck speed. And we are going places. Because if you look at this whole perspective, if you look at the solar system, we might seem like we're going around a gyroscope. But actually, if you look at it from a galactic perspective, we are like hammering down towards Andromeda, which is eventually going to collide, because all things attract. Anyway, I got to go to my church, or I got to preach to my flock, and I'm going to redefine many misunderstood concepts about Christianity, and we're going to bring back the Jesus in Hazrat Isa, in Jesus. because that's what we lacked. We are talking about Paul. Most of Christianity has been perverted by Mr. Paul. Anyway, so vote for Henry. Believe me, my friend. I don't believe me. I don't like people who say believe me and trust me and all that. It's not possible, sir. I have to make up my mind. I have to analyze the situation and then trust somebody. I can't take you for trusting you and believing in you and all that. You need to conduct due diligence. You need to run for yourself. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be more than belief and more than trust. It's going to be you who are going to be in the seat. That's why we're going to call it Uru. There's an app that's going to link to your LinkedIn data where we'll draw from the best of the best to make the representation. Best of the best who can make a real representation. Okay, I gotta go and vote for Henry. October 2023, I will be on the federal ballot. Vote for Henry. Forget the Polly. You don't want a parrot. Forget Turdo. You don't want a turd as Prime Minister of Canada. You want Henry. Henry the Great, son of John Henry the Greater, who believed that Allahu Akbar. Now, this is your ignorance, sir. What does Allahu Akbar mean? Allahu Akbar. Akbar, Allahu Akbar. It means God is great. God is great. So when I say Henry the Great, God is greater, God is greatest. So Allah Akbar is God is the greatest. Now, you might say, oh, it's those other people say we need to go out a crusade. Well, my friend, in your crusade song, can we have the song How Great Thou Art? Have you heard that song? Then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. So if that song where you sing it in Arabic, what will it be? How Allahu Akbar. That's what it's going to be. So do you want me to sing how good? What is the other word for Akbar? Great. So Akbar is great and Allah is good. La ilaha illallah. That means there's no other God but Allah, the same God of King David. The Zibur is holy to the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims, which is the book of Psalms, in which you will see the name of God is Shallah, which is Allah, which is Yehovah. Okay, I gotta go preach where it's due. And vote for Henry, or it's Kumbaya, use down the tubes. So the proposition is either you run for election, sir, you run against me, or vote for me. And my mission statement is guaranteed food and shelter. And we're going to have a planetary civilization, and where we're going to live in peace in the land of milk and honey, and have a real planetary civilization, the likes of Sumeria. Sumeria was like a real civilization where they conquered the thing. They had wheat and wheat and wheat at the wazoo. Once you have food and shelter thing, culture and art and technology and goodness and everything good is going to flow out, because you're not going to have a reason for doing all the mean things that you have to do just to survive, just to do somebody else in. Okay, bye-bye. And I'll talk to you soon. Very soon, sir. I and my mother, the Virgin of Israel, made that poppy for me. So yes, I do wear on poppy. And you will vote for me, or that poppy gonna come back you. Holla. Holla, holla, holla. I run for the federal ballot, sir. So one of the tests of being run for prime minister of this fine country is if you can